Hello, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to the final round of the Tier 1 races in F1 2020 PC League of the IRC community. So, it's going to be an interesting race. It's around the Japanese track, the Japanese Grand Prix. It's going to be interesting, not maybe in the Drivers' Championship because Eccentric has won it, taking a good lead, probably like Hamilton, but the constructors is gonna be interesting to watch because Williams is fighting with Alfa Romeo, and yeah, they're close.
So
It could change the way it goes.
yeah, so talking about that constructor battle, basically Williams is currently led by a lone, the lone wolf eccentric who has contributed 195 points out of the 196 points single-handedly for the constructor. And Alfa Romeo, we have two people, Kapil and Tanish, both of them. So not expecting a big, show today because we all know that two is greater than one, and we all know that Kapil and Tanish both are really quick drivers. So I think it should be an easy Alfa Romeo constructor victory, especially considering that today Eccentric might have a quali ban as well. And it's barely 7 points difference in constructor between Alfa Romeo and Williams. So we are safe to say as of now that Alfa Romeo have got the constructor. But anything can happen in the race if one of the Alfa Romeos uh, crashes out, then it can definitely turn out in against them, their favor. But yes, so we will soon be joined by DJ as well for commentary. Meanwhile, I will also try getting into the race. But Harry, what are your expectations for the race?
Well, considering that I streamed even last weekend the Monza Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix around Monza, I saw some crazy driving and a lot of pace from a few people I wanted to mention, especially Glader. A lot of pace, and wanted to know how the Ferrari driver does around this track as well. Want to see if he can get a podium around here, but let's wait and watch. It's going to be interesting to watch. Safety cars, something I really want to see, because last weekend was a very different tier 1 race for me, so I'm going to wait and watch how it goes this weekend as well. Really interested to see that.
I'm pretty sure that our boys would have learned something from the last race and will be taking it cautiously. But I think without further delay, let's just go for a track video followed by a hot lap around Japan, provided by myself actually, even though I am not yet racing for today's race. But let's just hop on board for that.
International Racing Course is the crown jewel for Japanese motorsport and a circuit that bears host to the Japanese Grand Prix. Originally designed as a test track for Honda, the signature figure 8 layout containing some of F1's most recognizable corners and complexes, such as the S's, Spoon Curve and 130R, make Suzuka an instant spectacle for fans and drivers alike. Let's have a look at where the katanas clashed during Season 5 at Suzuka. The Spoon Curve will prove to be a hotspot, as seen when Tanis left the margins close with an attempt on the outside of the Mercedes, but ultimately failing to topple the defences. Similarly, the Spoon can also be a point of superheated tension, as RB Ferraro got pushed wide by Cooldock. And on the run down to the Casino chicane through 130R, Eccentric's sumptuous dummy meant Oxygen gifted the position to Eccentric on a silver platter.
One of the most culturally significant and historically important tracks on the F1 calendar. Drivers love it simply because of the courage it takes to barrel down the pit straight and go as late on the brakes as you can through turn 1, which then throws you onto this section of S curves. Very, very trademark section of this Japanese Grand Prix. I mean, all of you all remember Sebastian Vettel doing his quali lap in 2018 and getting significant time through this section. What you've got to make sure is you don't go down the gears at the apexes and you brake, use your engine braking as much as you can during the quali run. Now going up the Dunlop curve, which then throws you onto Degner, you just need to downshift, don't have to brake at all, which then throws you onto this section that takes the car onto the hairpin. Now the hairpin is a reward for those bold late breakers with fresh tires who want to get an overtake done have got a fantastic sector 1 on the guy ahead of him, and now has an opportunity to get an overtake done. Through turn 12, fast sweeping right-hander which then throws you onto the spoon curve. Now this is it's actually 2 turns which drivers treat as 1, because that gives you the fantastic maximum top speed coming out of this section onto the start finish straight, I think, of the Formula 3000. Now this then throws you onto the super fast left-hander of 130R. All of you all remember Charles Leclerc holding his wing mirror through this section, which then throws you onto the Casio triangle for drivers who have fresh tires and are good at overtaking. That's another overtaking spot on this track, as Nomopropi shows us what it's like to set a hot lap at Suzuka Grand Prix circuit.
Well, really fast laps from there from Propi. He seems to be very modest, but he definitely does have pace. Probably might not be on shine today because he's not really practiced much. But then let's see if he makes it to the race. Some technical difficulties from his side. But nonetheless, hi DJ, welcome to the Combox. You were a bit late, but on time for the race.
Yeah.
Yep, so it's going to be an interesting race, like I was mentioning before. I'm guessing it's going to be hard on the tires because the first sector, the Senna S's, it's one mental as a part of the track. If you get it right on spot, it's very interesting and very satisfying. But if you miss your first entering into the S's, you're going to get a lot of offline, and you will basically lose a lot of time through that section. So yeah, and one of the iconic corners, the 130R as well. So all of this is putting this track to be making this track a very interesting track to drive around. It's a good track, and also the bumpiness of the track adds to the factor that you can't really floor it through certain sections because you might get thrown off by the bumps, depending on how stiff your suspension setup is maybe. But yeah, all of these factors gonna put in a lot of I would say variables in the race that will give you different outputs. So let's just wait and watch how it goes. In the meantime, DJ, what do you have any expectations for this particular race?
Well, nothing much from my side. I don't have that much of the knowledge on this track, so I will be relying on you for the knowledge.
Well, we're all on the same boat. We commentate the race as it goes, I guess.
Yes.
Let's get into session right now because the boys have readied up. They're in session.
Well, what do you think of the qualifying? Like, what tires are the best to start on, and like, what is a good strategy here?
Well, strategy-wise, I think it's going to be a soft to mediums because that's what I last remember. Give me a second. I'm sorting out something with the stream.
Talking about the strategy, like I feel, especially considering that there is a large scope of a safety car, it makes it difficult, but I'm pretty sure that most of the top runners will go out on a soft tire, since these are one of the hardest compounds that on the range. So mostly people will look out for the soft tires and probably do a soft to hards if they want to maintain the pace, or soft to mediums if they are trying to stretch it out. But definitely the top 10 we can see going out on the soft tires for their quali session. But apart from that, let's see what actually people do. We do see a couple of cars going out. We saw a McLaren, a Williams coming out of the garage, and we should soon be back with the actual view of how a lap is done on board of one of these cars.
Well, the race is going to be a wet race from what I see. It's a dry quali but a wet race. I had not run the telemetry, so I had to go back and run it because I really wanted to see the weather and hope it's going to be, well, driver standings, I guess, wrong. That's my bad. But we know that the driver standings is no longer really important because P1 has been sealed by Eccentric. He's won the race. so it's won the championship. So I guess that's off. But then the constructor standings will be interesting to watch because he, I mean, like I said before, it's between Williams and Alfa Romeo. Williams being a single horse driven a carriage basically because Eccentric is the only Williams driver throughout the season, whereas in the case of Alfa Romeo, it's both by Tanish and Couple.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so Harry, I can tell you why that issue you are seeing in the telemetry is it's because I think you haven't selected the participants,
Ooh.
and that might be causing that issue.
Well,
So you can fix it off, but we roughly have an idea already about what is gonna happen. We do see a wet session, not a very wet one, so it just seems like enter kind of weather intermediate tires throughout the race. So probably either it will be a one stopper, or some people, if they are really good in conserving their tires, can even do it without stopping for the entirety of the race. But yeah, they definitely will be risking a puncture towards the end. It all depends on how good our drivers are feeling today about their tire conservation and their strategy for the race. But right now, definitely a lot of these drivers would have done some tweaks in their settings for their for their tire for the wet session that they are gonna go ahead with, and definitely most of these drivers won't be setting the absolute best of the pace, especially because many of them will be running with a higher ride height, as well as some more wings for the grip in the wet condition. But definitely we can see some good times as well come on board.
well, since the drivers and constructors weren't properly viewed, my bad over there. But I can give you a brief, what do you call, status on the constructors championship. Williams are 7 points ahead of Alfa Romeo, and it doesn't look like Eccentric has a quali ban. He's still sitting in the pits. I'm not entirely sure. Propi, if you can confirm if he does have a quali ban, but. Yeah, that is basically gonna be the defining factor. Streeter is a reserve driver for today, but his points won't be considered in the championship. So, um, well, for anyone who has a doubt about that, it's only Eccentric's points that will be taken into the constructors' championship. So I guess it's important for the Alfa Romeo boys to actually put in a good show together.
Yeah, so regarding the quali ban, I feel that the stewards did not actually give him a quali ban after his incident in the last race. So he will still be racing with us. If he is coming out of the pit, then definitely he will be racing. And if he is setting a time, then definitely he will be racing. Otherwise, you are allowed to go and do an installment lap and not set a time. So he can be doing that as well and maybe returning back to the pits. But we'll get to know if he has the ban or not, if he dives into the pits or just does an installment lap, because we do allow an installment lap even if you have a quali ban.
Absolutely. So let's wait and watch. Since we do not have a clear-cut update on what Eccentric's status is in terms of a quali ban, let's just wait and watch on board if he's going for a hot lap after this. In the meantime, um, well, Glader seems to be on a hot lap. The fastest right now is from Helium. The Mercedes driver is put in a 26.9. A lot of difference between P1 and P2, so I'm sure that these lap times aren't really representative because people are going on banker laps. But yeah, let's just wait and watch how it goes through. Eccentric seems to be lining up yeah, he is going for a timed lap, so I guess he does not have the quali ban, and let's stay on board Eccentric and see how his lap goes. Turn 1, the spoon section going in, well, doesn't use all of the track, slightly unstable off that exit. Downshifting to get that extra rotation because you try to carry as much speed as possible. I think from here it's just flooring on the throttle to get the best exit possible, and this could probably be a slight dab on the brakes, but not for our tier 1 drivers because they're probably the fastest out there. So yeah, I personally do a downshift and a brake, a slight dab on the brake. probably missing the apex a bit, but then it's not really his first lap, so he can relax, passing by his constructor, his rival over there. Some side by side probably in quali itself, but then yeah, nonetheless, going through this long back straight, the exit over there is very important out of that spoon, so spoon section, so spoon corner, sorry. He gets a purple a purple sector 2 as well, and uses as much of the curb as possible, slamming on the throttle in a straight line, staying close to the inside, and he goes pole by almost 4 tenths or 3.5 tenths. So that's a huge difference. Again, like I said, Couple in the meanwhile, I did not notice that, but Couple has done a close P2. Um, Considering his quali pace isn't really the best out there, but it's his race pace and tire conservation that he's really good or known for, at least in my books, and hence quali is not somewhere where I'm gonna look at him too much, but the race pace is where he's gonna turn on totally, and conservation of tires being important on this track, it'll be important to see how his race goes on. But nonetheless, let's go on board.
So as you were talking about, we were talking about maybe eccentric having a quali van. That thing is out of the window. But I'm pretty sure that the Alpha boys have practiced their heart and soul today, and we can see, out of the top three runners, two being the Alpha boys, because they really won that constructor championship. And if they are able to qualify up ahead, they will kind of avoid all the incidents that can come out in the back of the field.
Yes, and as you say that, Couple's done a decent lap, but we're on board Tanish right now. The other Alpha driver, actually, I can't really call anyone driver 1 and driver 2, because though people call it equal between driver 1 and driver 2, it's always subconsciously decided that the faster guy is ahead. Tanish is the faster driver probably in raw pace, but then come race day, they are complementing each other in both the sessions. Gets a good tow from the back of the Ferrari, probably a little bit of dirty air, but he has the fastest sector too, I think, from what I saw. Let's just see how his lap time is. He goes across the finish line, goes P3. Well, 2 tenths.
As I expected, I really hope and believe that the Alpha boys will be staying in P2 and P3 based on the amount of hours they might have put into this game for this race, especially because it comes down to that wire. Meanwhile, how many minutes are left in the session? I believe 6-7 minutes.
Yes, 7 minutes and 50 seconds, Propi, and you have joined. Woo! So you are
Yes.
racing today, I guess. Let's see you put in one lap, boy. I guess you should go off, VC. Concentrate on your laps.
Let's
That
see how Puppy does today.
See, it's all about my hard drive giving me the motivation to join the session somehow.
Yes.
You will join the
I don't know
session.
whether it will carry on, but I am right now loading into the game. I still don't know if my settings are all gone. If it is, then pretty much GG. But if it is not, then I will definitely try putting in one lap at least before I log off, because I have absolutely no practice from the past 7 months on this track specifically.
Well, Propi, let's just say you can put on a good show, and you could do a last to probably top 5 challenge, because I know you have the pace. Probably you can build your pace up in the race. But yeah, nonetheless, all the best, boy.
The polite version of some slangs is ghanta in Hindi, so I am just gonna use ghanta, but okay. I will try what I can do. I think I might qualify around P10 or something, and then I will have to start from there. Probably my aim will be just to avoid any collision, but apart from that, on the screen we see a lot of people who are actually capable putting in times rather than me talking. So yes.
Yes, sir. Got you on spot. In the meantime, definitely not the fastest laps from Glader. The Ferrari driver will be putting in another lap, because he's almost 11 seconds off the next guy, that is P12. So let's just wait and watch how the lap goes for Glader. In the meantime, Helium has managed to put his Mercedes on P3, and he seems to be on a lap as well, but No, it's probably the in lap. But no, he is actually on a lap. It looks like it. Um, or did he just give up? It's so confusing. He was on the ERS mode too, so it was confusing to tell if he was on an in lap or probably a second run. It looks like he is not on a hot lap anymore. In the meanwhile, we'll jump on board Glader again because seem to be good sectors from there coming into the sector 3. Gets a nice tow from the car ahead. I think it is a Mercedes, probably Helium, not sure, but let's just wait and watch what kind of lap time the Ferrari driver was able to put. Ooh, the Mercedes going right across the chicane, going into the pits as well. Ooh, some wheel spin out of that corner and goes P1. Damn, what a lap! Probably 2 tenths faster than eccentric. So that's an impressive lap from Glader. Kudos to that. And we have just under 5 minutes remaining in this session. Quite an exciting amount of pace we see from the drivers. Go on, Propi.
It might be that Glader might not be that conservative with his setup and might have gone with a drier setup than, more of a setup that is suitable for the wets, and others might be taking it a bit more conservatively, but we'll get to know about that soon. Just few laps left in the quali left, so we'll soon get to know about it.
Well, important to note because eccentric has gone that much little faster, about a tenth faster to Glader. So he's into the 25s as well. He's done a 25.8, just about a tenth ahead, I guess. Whereas, so only two drivers still into the 25s. Glader just getting in there by 1,000ths of a second. So probably more pace left in the rest of the field. Let's just wait and watch how it goes, though. In the meantime, let's just go through the rest of the cars on circuit. Let's search for a driver who is on a flying lap. Looks like Wilster has just started his flying lap. Let's just wait and watch. He's on 3 lap old softs and he's still in the ERS mode too. Probably trying to just get some practice in, maybe some laps to warm up, and will go for the final run. Will be very close. I don't think he's going to make it. He won't be able to put another lap. He's going for his final run again. No, he's on ERS mode 0. That's basically none, no deployment. So I guess he is going to go back to the pits, try to get out on time to do in one more lap. Let's go on board Propi and see what he is up to. Oh, he is out on track. He's starting a hot lap.
He has all his settings back, so
Is he in the VC?
I don't think so. Yeah, he's still in the race.
Okay, then I guess we'll keep some silence for Propi.
Yeah, I am in the VC, but you guys can still talk. I was just on my hardware mute, so I could not talk about, I invalidated, never mind. But yeah, I could not just speak when you guys were speaking.
I'm so sorry to put you there.
Your settings back, or
Yes. Seems like I am having a double shifting issue, so I had set a macro for the same, but I think I can manage somehow. Wheel and all seems to be good. Downshift, upshifts.
That's good to hear.
Well, work your way around, my man, because that's your area, if I'm right, electronics. So get yourself on track, get us a good race, and we'll just go on board and see how the other drivers are doing. Everyone coming out on their out laps except for the Evil Doc and Wilster G. But let's just wait and watch how it goes. Eccentric is on his out lap, so is Glader, so is Couple. Everyone's on an out lap. Pepe and Aditya seem to be on hot laps. No, so Pepe has invalidated. Probably was on a hot lap, but invalidated.
What about Baba?
Ooh, wait a second. Did I just catch that on stream? Well, Aditya seems to have retired on track, which is not gonna do him any good because there is a fast car coming from behind. Was Babaji? Probably Babaji's hot lap as well. Yes, it was his hot lap. He got impeded over there. We'll have to see if that really did affect the driver, the McLaren driver. But that's really sad. Wilsterji in the meanwhile didn't have any more time to put in a hot lap, so I guess he's gone into the pits and retired. Go on, DJ. You were telling something.
I was just saying it was unfortunate for Baba as Aditya returned on track.
Well, the stewards will be looking into that probably, but it's the last race of the season, so don't know if Baba is gonna report him. But nonetheless, Baba seems to be doing decently well. Hasn't improved on his first sector. Um, let's see how his second sector goes. Stays in 7th all through 130R, not really shifting up, revving the engine up. Doesn't use the 8th gear. Don't know if that was really ideal, but then, yeah, he
Actually,
is.
that is something that drivers do to stay in seventh gear, especially in the race. You kind of have a much better control over the car if you are staying in seventh gear through the 130 hours. So maybe they are kind of carrying over their habit from the race to the quali itself.
Probably. Black Sheep improves a tad bit, 26.8, and pushes himself up to P6, the third row on the grid. Um, but yeah, considering that he has been a little off color, I think that's a decent qualifying position for him, and he looked to make matters better in the race. In the meantime, let's go on board Eccentric, who's coming around the final chicane. Let's just wait and watch what kind of a lap time he's able to put in.
I think he's doing yeah.
Oh, he's gone into the pits. But Glader getting a beautiful slipstream off Shalalock doesn't really improve, or does. Yeah, he's done. He doesn't
Just
have
a
time for
tad
another lap.
bit slower.
Yeah, that's 2 thousandths of a second. Oof. That's very close. That's very close for the top two. Glader's finished the laps needed for this session, so I guess he is on P2, front row of the grid nonetheless. Tanish has put the car on P3, so that's good for the constructors battle. Moto improves a good bit, puts the Alfa Romeo into P4, the second row of the grid. Will be interesting to see how his race goes from here on. But more importantly, P5 for Couple, the second, in this case, the second Alfa Romeo driver, but it's not a bad place to start from. We'll get a decent tow for that short run down to turn 1. We'll have to wait and watch how it goes. So
Basically, talking about that, I know that Kapil is the one who has the racecraft and the consistency and the awareness in the race, but Tanish might be a hindrance in them getting a constructor championship, especially considering that Tanish does have the pace, but he can be sometimes impatient, and as well as he can be sometimes unlucky into incidents or some abrupt move he can do. So we'll have to wait and see if he is able to keep his cool in today's race, or if he gets into some incident, then it has to be a good recovery drive from him, because it all relies on him as well finishing up there, because we all know that there is a high possibility that Eccentric is gonna win the race. That means he is easily gonna add 25 points in his bank, in the constructor bank as well. So 7 points deficit from before. Even if Kapil manages a second position finish today, it will be 7 plus, I think, 7 another points, so 14 points which Tanish has to get. So that means both these boys have to finish P2 and P3 today.
well,
If Eccentric finishes P1, that is.
yes, Propi, I agree. But then I really have to, considering how Monza looked, I am going to bring in the factor that we have another variable called weather, and it's raining. And I think it's the, is it the wets kind of rain? Is it heavy rain or is it light rain? And you're going to start the
Uh,
race on inters because you're a driver on
so
track.
so entirety of the whatever session forecast that we get to see, I'm currently seeing that entirety of the session is just medium wet, just small sprinkles of rain. So we can expect the weather to remain the same for the entirety of the race, what it is right now. And probably people will either go in and pit for one more enters during the middle of the stint, or we can see some massive tire conservation and then people trying to go to the distance till the end as well. It will remain the same conditions, no change in conditions and no change in tires as well.
Well, I guess that sums it up. It seems to be an Inter's weather condition, and something new for this race is we have a driver who is on the grid and also in the comms box. So Propi is gonna be our on-track reporter, probably not throughout the race,
Yes.
but whenever he feels comfortable.
He's
And
gonna give the spicy updates.
yes, and we will not disturb you, Propi. But then whenever you feel like talking, you can always unmute and talk to us. So we will
No
not
worries.
mention you or ask you.
You can consider me as a cameraman on the ground. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing, no other difference. Because I am not racing for right now, any position, since I don't have any practice. And I would hopefully, hope that I don't spoil anyone's race, especially I'm starting at the last right now. But basically, all my aim will be to keep it clean, keep it consistent, and somehow gain some positions based on people crashing out around me.
Well, all the best, Propi. You have a formation lap to get to, so I guess mute yourself and enjoy the first few laps of the race after the formation lap as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Also, one thing to point out on the construction board, we can actually see Haas and Mercedes having the same points. So, 147 points for each team.
I think Haas is not represented by anyone today. Uh,
Okay, so
I
that's
think Evil
different
Dog,
P3 for Mercedes
yeah,
then.
yes. Mostly Haas was getting carried over by Myth, but I
Yep.
think Myth is not racing today, and one of the Haas is being driven by our Tier 2 reserve, Evil Dog, who is just ahead of me right now.
Yep.
So mostly the Mercedes will definitely take it away.
Well, for the spectators, this is what Propi is right now seeing on track. A nice rainy weather, and also important to note, he's behind Evil Dog. He's starting from the last, but let's see how he makes up places through the race. In the meantime,
He says he has no practice, but let's see if he has some pace and let's see if he can actually make some very good moves.
Guys, the main concentration should be on the Alpha and the Williams. They are fighting
Yeah.
for constructor. I am just fighting for survival. Just get your priorities straight.
we'll get it, Propi. This is a new experience for our viewers and for us as well in the stream, in the
Like
com
this is the
box.
first time a driver is in the com box with
Yes, absolutely.
and
So, nonetheless, gonna pull it back. Propi, if you can mute yourself.
And it's all good, my dude. Carry on.
I can hear myself in your mic.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, what I was gonna tell is a lot of tire heat up needed, a lot of brakes heat up needed because the first turn needs some brake in the in some bite in the brakes because it's not a heavy braking zone, but it's important to carry the brake application through till the apex, and it'll be important to note that if you do not have the right brake temperatures, you're gonna end up locking up or probably just not being able to stop on time. But in the meantime, Black Sheep seems to be on the grid. I guess he got disqualified during the formation lap. Well, the drivers lining up as we see the yellow Renault of Kimrai also lining up on the grid, waiting for all the drivers to line up. Propi has lined up as well. Yep, all the drivers have lined up, and we will be starting the race very shortly. Well, seems to be some kind of an issue with the lobby, but we'll wait and watch. It must be a time thing.
yep.
Time heals everything, as we know.
Pikachu, any spicy updates?
Only Baba is left to load into.
Oh, we are starting the race. 5 lights on, and away we go. Glader starts a little earlier. Baba gets almost stalls on grid. Lot of movement up there. The alpha of Tanish going through, getting P2. Importantly, a Mercedes running wide over there. Eccentric gets a clean start, and Glader fought back, gets the second position back from the alpha of Tanish. Tanish seems to have run a little wide, but nonetheless, Couple importantly gets into P4. Good start for him. Very important start actually in the constructors. Going back towards the back of the grid, Baba seemed to have had a horrendous start, at least from my POV. But, ooh, and someone's wing flies off. I think that was Moto's. Yes, Moto has lost his left end plate and a major portion of his wing. He's turning in a bit into Wilster, but that's side-by-side action. Wilster goes a little off track as well for good measure. Unfortunate for him, and I think he has spun as well, but we'll have to wait and watch. Moto's going to lose a lot of places. Both the McLarens going past. We have yellow flags in Sector 2. We'll have to wait and watch. It's a lot of action going on. Baba is getting eaten alive by Moto right now, even with that broken wing. He's going to struggle with some turn in Moto, that is. Yeah, gives way, or almost gives way to Streeter. He's going to pit for sure, because in the rain, you need that ever so important downforce, and he's kind of lacking it right now because of that incident just towards the end of Sector 1 on the first lap. In the meantime, let me get the positions that have changed. Yep, he does rush into the pits, and let's just go on board Couple, who seems to... Oh, the leaderboard is just glitching out, thank God. I got a heart attack for a slight moment over there.
So first lap update, I got a broken wing because Baba just decided not to start his car. So I'm changing my wing again and back at
Oh,
lap.
sorry to cut you there, but then Eccentric has gone off track totally and has lost I don't know how many places, because it's a totally glitched leaderboard. But it looks like Glader has...
4 positions.
I think he is currently in P4.
Yes, so Glader is in
He's
P1.
P5, P6, P7. He's dropping more position.
Let's just go on board him.
Right now, Wilster is about to overtake him.
Okay.
P9 on our screen.
Yes, so it's fine, Prope. Thanks for that update, but then we'll take it on from here. And Eccentric goes a little wide along with Aditya, and he gets spun around by Black Sheep as well. Oh my god, that is a disaster for Eccentric. What is happening? And he's right now struggling for tire temps as well, I guess, from that spin. He's gone to P15 from P1 within a lap. And that has gone all the way down for the Constructors' Championship, because right now, the Alfa Romeos are in P2 and P3. That's podium spots, and he's struggling for some rare grip as well. That shows that there's a lot of temperature in those tires. We'll have to wait and watch how his race goes on. No damage. More importantly, no damage. We have some yellows in Sector 1. The top 3 have gone away, like literally checked out from the rest of the pack. Eccentric has retired from the session as well. This is absolutely horrendous. I am not sure, but then he seems to have crashed on track and is not... We'll see it on board Moto. He has crashed on track. He has crashed on track, and I think he crashed with Baba, because Baba is also going very slowly, and it's a safety car at the moment. This is really unfortunate. I think that has ended the constructors' battle if the likes of Tanish and Couple stay in the positions they are in right now. But yeah.
Well, that's a definite P1 for Alpha Boys then.
Yes, the constructor seems to be closed at this point, but we never know what's going to happen to the in the rest of the race. It's a safety car right now. The Alpha Boys have kept it clean, Tanish being ahead of Couple at this point, but we'll have to wait and watch if they are able to finish the race in point scoring positions, mainly enough points to get Williams. They have a 7 points deficit, but right now they're clearly winning it. Let's just wait and watch, because anything can happen.
Well, Wilster and General Pepe got a very, very good start. They gained 5 and 7 positions respectively.
And Helium gets a drive-through. Wow, he didn't probably see the delta, but he's gotten a drive-through as well. Well, that's a lot of action. Go on, Propi. What update you have for
I
us?
like how the safety car came out after I pitted, just as I was exiting.
Very
Well,
nice.
But anyways, Baba has also pitted, and I am currently unlapping myself from the safety car. The safety car is waiting for the lap leaders, but right now Baba is right behind me, and we will be catching up to the pack.
well, that's good for y'all. Probably because y'all have fresh tires. It's gonna be kind of a restart, and yeah, we'll wait and watch how the restart goes. You can get back to your race. But I see Kimrai jumping into the pits. Unfortunate again for him, I guess. What has happened to Kimrai? Seems to have had some wing damage under safety car. I don't see any. Oh, okay. He has finished his pit stop. Fine, my bad. So he's come out with fresh inters. He has a new front wing. We'll have to wait and watch. He's gone down to P11 as well. So, yeah, lot of action. Not really sure. I was not able to catch all of it. Probably I got some important ones like eccentric having a spin and some side-by-side battles between Tanish and Glado for P2. And Kimrai just spins off. My god, must be some cold tires into the Senna SS. He just spins off track. He's come back on track. Moto is right behind him. Okay. Well, that was that was a moment. I guess that's showing how treacherous the conditions are, and probably building some temperature into these tires up is proving a little difficult. So we'll have to wait and watch how it goes for the rest of the race. And yeah, right now we are under safety car. We had Eccentric, who started from pole, did a good first lap, got a good getaway, but in the second lap in the Senna SS, he went off track, lost a lot of positions, had a moment with one of the McLarens, that is Black Sheep, into the hairpin, and yeah, he has retired towards the final chicane in that very lap, that is lap 2. I am presuming with some contact or something with Baba, but yeah, we'll have to wait and watch how it happened, what happened later on towards the end of the race. In the meantime, let's go through the grid once more. Glado currently in P1. A good race, kept it clean till now. Will be leading the pack away after safety car goes in, so the restarts on him. Tanish in P2, Couple in P3. Very importantly, both of them pulling that Alfa Romeo team up into the constructors win probably right now, because both of them are on the podium. But nonetheless, Couple has some fast drivers behind him in General Pepe, who is also got on with no damage at all to the front wing. Same set of tires, no difference at all. Aditya in the Merc. We have Wilster, who's lost a few places on race start and in the first lap, but since all the incidents happened, he's made up a few places as well. Black Sheep, an okay start, has maintained his starting position from the race start, so that's good progress for him. So he'll have to concentrate on the safety car restart and get some heat into those tires and the brakes probably, and then probably some good consistent race pace will help him gain a few positions. Helium in P8, we have Evil Dog, who's a tier 2 reserve in the Haas in P9. We have Shaluluk in P10 in the Racing Point. We have Kimra in P11, Moto in P12, Streeter in P13. Gained a lot of places in lap 1, but then seemed to have lost it as well. Pro P, well, P14, so he's getting kind of a restart after the bad start, unfortunate start with Baba stalling in front of him. And Baba behind him, lost a few places on race start and some incidents, but then, like I said, a restart for both of these drivers, so redemption probably available. As we enter Sector 3, I don't think the safety car will be coming in this lap, because the
I
cars...
think it's gonna be one more lap.
Yeah, probably another lap. We'll have to wait and watch. Yep, it will be another lap. Baba kind of pushing that car through 130R, trying to get some heat into those tires probably. So the pack is fully bunched up. All 15 cars that are left. Black Sheep and Wilster seem to... What's up with Black Sheep? Black Sheep's losing positions. Has he lost traction and lost his car? I think yes, he has lost his front wing as well. Under safety car. Oh my
I, s-
god.
I,
Asking my lord.
I see a front wing of McLaren on the start-finish straight, so
That's
probably he
black
lost
sheep.
it. Yeah, so
Yes,
probably
sir.
lost it there in terms of heating his tire up. One advantage that me and Baba have is that we already have our tires heated up because we were kind of on our trying to catch the pack, but others still have to warm up their
Yeah,
tires.
people at the front will be struggling with the tire temps. Just waiting for you guys, and I think the safety car will go in this lap, and we'll wait for the race restart.
Well, unfortunate for Black Sheep. Will definitely have to go into the pits with that damage. As you can see, it's literally a plank of wood right now with no end plates and probably absolutely useless. He will not be able to get any kind of downforce from that, so he'll have to pit for sure. In the meantime, we'll just see who's got the biggest gains. It looks like Wills to G. It was an up and down roller coaster ride for him within the first two laps, but he's been able to make up some good places. General Pepe and Aditya as well have made up some good places. 5 positions each. Evil Dog got 7 positions with a clean race start for him, avoiding all the collisions, the incidents, and probably that's helped him a lot. Biggest loser is Moto at the moment. He had to pit, I presume, or had a moment, but then he's lost 8 places. But then let's not forget the biggest of the biggest losers is eccentric in this race because he's lost the constructors and he's also not in the race anymore. But nonetheless, he does have the drivers' championship, so probably not bother about the constructors. I'm really not sure, but it's all part of pride and glory, and he will be a little disappointed with himself. Or probably we can have a chat with him because he's the championship winner. Let's just go on board Glader,
Safety car is coming in this lap. Yes.
and Glader has pulled away. Sudden restart, maybe caught P2 and P3 by surprise, but you have 3 people
I am dead.
pitting. Ooh,
Ooh.
thank you for that,
And
Propi. But then he's
but
retired as
you
well.
see what happened.
Unfortunate. Oh, and Kimrai is
There are
retired as well.
two people. There are two people who spun on the final corner because of the throttle and tires not being warmed up, and both of us retired from the session when we hit the pit wall.
Oh
That's really
my
unfortunate
god.
for you guys.
Well, that's unfortunate. Obviously, we do not have a safety car yet. We're still racing because the cars are up in first sector, whereas the incidents have happened on the final corner. So I guess Propi's car, that's a Red Bull, will be taken off by. Yes, it has been taken off by the game. Kimrai has also gone off. I think he went into the pits and retired. It looked like that. But yeah, we've lost 2 cars on safety car restart. That's unfortunate. And yeah, we're right now with 13
Well,
cars on the track. Go on, TJ.
Baba has gained 2 positions on since Helium and Black Ship had to pit, and also we can
Actually, three. He has gained on Streeter as well.
yeah.
Yep, absolutely. In the meantime, let's just go on to a penalty. Yeah, Helium seems to be. Ooh, that's sad for Helium. He pit immediately as soon as the safety car was coming in, but he didn't. I think he must have messed up with the rules because you cannot serve your drive-through under safety car, and safety car restart includes that. So he was supposed to do 1 lap and then do the drive-through, but now he's gone into the pits, but he's not served his drive-through yet. So I guess he has fresh tires, but he'll have to go through the pit lane again for serving his drive-through.
Actually, that is not true. So basically, if you tell box this lap and if you are going in to serve your drive-through, it won't serve your drive-through and it will box you. So I think he did something in those manners, and that is why he boxed rather than serve his drive-through.
Streeter retires from the session as he gets a drive through.
No, he got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but he's retired from the session by going into the pits. Looks like, I don't know, are these treacherous conditions for him to not adjust to, or is it just unfortunate? But Black Sheep has left the session as well. Looks like he's had a disconnection issue, unfortunately. But in the meantime, let's go up the field because Wilster seems to be getting close to Aditya, uses all of his overtake, keeps the overtake on through the hairpin as well. that's a little weird to see, but especially in the rain. Ooh, that was a slight moment you saw over there. Probably a few glitches over there, but I'm not sure. But it looked like he kind of had some snap oversteer. Evil Doc is close behind these guys battling in front of him. He's not really, well, he's not been able to make the move, but then he's finally turned off his overtake. He is in the slipstream of Aditya. He could possibly get the move done in the chicane. Let's just go on board. Aditya has gone wide as well into 130R, probably trying to keep it flat. Breaks early, tries to get the exit right. He does get a good exit, but goes sideways. Ooh, the Dirty Air is playing an important role over here. They're very close to each other, probably within 2 tenths. He's again getting the slipstream, superior slipstream, goes down the inside into turn one, takes a bit of curve over there. Very brave of him, I must say, in the wet conditions. Yep, and he has gotten the place. He's in P5. That was a good move from Wilster. Aditya left in the dust, and Wilster has immediately pulled a 5 tenths gap to Aditya probably. But then, yeah, it's coming down again. So probably the S is playing tricks on us. But let's just wait and watch. In the meantime, Evil Doc, who is sitting calm behind, is right now hot on the tail of Aditya. Thinks about a move there, but backs off probably to distract the driver ahead. Aditya goes a little deep into that corner. Evil Dog gets a much better exit. Calculated move, I must say, but from the around the outside, we must see he has gone deep, trying to give some space. He's lost the position as well. No, he gets a good exit as well, and Evil Dog has gotten P6 from Aditya. So within the matter of one lap, Aditya has lost 2 positions. I'm not sure what's wrong over there. Probably his setup, or is he just struggling in the rain? Because the rain takes a different kind of skill set to even drive around and be on pace as well. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes for these drivers. But nonetheless, let's go on board Pepe, who is not very far off from Couple and Tanish. They're maintaining the gaps. Glader has literally checked out of this. Amazing stuff from the Ferrari driver, keeping it clean in lap 1, getting that P2 back, crucial P2 back from Tanish. So no time lost behind a potentially slower driver, because he seems to be showing much better pace. So he has clean air in front of him. So he has a 2.5 2.5 second lead over Tanish. Tanish in turn has a 7 tenths lead on Couple, and General Pepe in the meantime is about 8 tenths behind Couple. So these guys have, I think, slotted into these positions. They're going to drive around in this position for the rest of the race. We could hear General Pepe having that wheel spin out of the corner. My God, locking up into the hairpin. Even the short shifting doesn't seem to be helping Pepe at this point. A lot of wheel spin he's experiencing on the exits. So, yeah, tough conditions. Suzuka being really tough. Even with the rain, it becomes tougher. And yeah, my leaderboard is just glitched out, so I don't have any timing screens or times on it. So, Dwajan, how do you think
Yep.
the race is going right now for you?
Well, we can see that Glitter has pulled a very huge gap and is just flying away from Tanish and Kapil. And we also can see that Black Ship his back, and Aditya has picked up a 5 second and a stop and go by speeding in the pit lane.
Well, that's unfortunate, is it, for Aditya, because he seemed to be doing a good race till he started losing some positions, and now he has 8 seconds of penalties totally. Uh, Probably the 3 seconds was from a corner cutting, and the 5 seconds, like you mentioned, went to hot into the pit lane. But yep, let's just wait and see how it goes for him. In the meantime, on board Baba, who was able to lose positions, have a bad start, has made up a few positions as well. He's just gonna try and get through this race slowly but steadily. Slowly in the sense, consistent laps more than fast laps. So let's wait and watch how it goes for him. He is closing up on Moto at the moment. He's about 1.3 seconds behind. Um, it seems to be getting closer to the AlphaTauri driver, but we'll have to wait and watch how it goes because it's one thing to close the gap, but another thing to overtake, especially in the conditions we have right now.
Yeah, these conditions are really pushing the drivers to their limits, and drivers are not really. I don't think they are enjoying the track while it's raining.
Well, I don't know about the enjoying part because I thoroughly enjoy driving in the rain. I might not be the fastest driver in the rain, but I enjoy it because one, there's a lot of uncertainty on or unpredictability about how a particular fast driver would do. So it brings the gap down, but not in the case of Glader because the Ferrari driver has pulled out another 5 to 6 tenths on Tanish and is 3.1 seconds ahead of the Alfa Romeo boys in all. Tanish is in P2, Couple still in P3, maintaining that position, and
I
Pepe seems to
Pepe is
have
struggling with the cars and not been able to close the gap. He was pretty
absolutely.
close to Kapil, but I think he's losing his car.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Actually, to put it across, he seems to be having the major issue which the F1 2020 cars have, dirty air, and he's not able to really keep up within the first sector because the first sector needs a lot of downforce and it's raining as well, so a little more downforce than normal. But the dirty air will not be helping him. But let's see how it goes. Slides wheel spin over there, properly making some steering corrections to keep it on track. Yes, it is tough conditions at the moment.
Well, the pack is not spread out. I think Evil Dog and Motor close.
Well, I will jump on board Moto. Evil Dog did make the position on Moto, I guess, but um, Moto getting back. Sorry, I think Moto was down in
Motor
P12.
died in P7.
Yeah, he was in P12 on the safety car restart, and then the incidents happened, and right now he's in P7. So decent recovery, I must say. But then he's surely a much faster driver for what I know about him. He will be waiting to make up this places, which he can for sure. We'll just have to wait and watch how it goes. Glader, in the
Well,
meanwhile, go on, DJ.
yeah, what happened to Baba? He was behind Moto, but did he pit or where is he?
Well, he's right
Yes,
behind
he
him.
is right behind.
But I think it is basically, yeah, now you should see the right timings. So I guess there is a pit stop being called by the game. We can see that the tires of most of the guys who have the telemetry on seems to be quite bad. That should be about 40% aware, I presume. Evil Dog seems oh, Black Sheep has retired. Well, that is sad. He seems to
Yeah,
have
and
retired. Oh, it's a
Glader
safety
is
car.
flying right now.
Oh my god. This is
This is
That's a
gonna
shame.
impact Glader.
Well, not necessarily. Depends on who wants to pit and who doesn't. But I'm guessing everyone is going to try to pit at this particular safety car because
Because even
the
the game
tires
is
are dead.
recording.
Yeah,
That
the
is true.
tires are dead for sure. About 50% wear on all of them. It seems to be the crossover point between the inters and the wets because the inters seem to be dying quite fast. That's 13 laps, about half the race, I guess. Whereas the wets at this point would start overheating. So I'm not sure if it is the weather or the track conditions or it's just normal for these inters to have this kind of wear and wear rate and they have to go onto new tires.
Yes, I am back, and you are correct. It is normal for it to get this much wear. When I was also driving within like 6 laps, I got around 20-30%. So by now, definitely these tires would be dead, and you can see a couple of pit stops starting in the next 2 laps or so.
Well, important to note.
Unless they already happened, yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's important to note that ooh, Couple is double stacking. Whoa, that's a bold move, and I don't think he will get the fastest pit stop because we know the game what it does. His teammate has just gotten out of the pit box. He's timed it correctly for real life, but now you will see what's happening to Couple because they will wait, and give those 2 seconds extra. He is definitely going to lose 2 positions over there, and yes, he has. That was close with Wilster, but the game allows you to ghost. So I guess in real life that would have been an unsafe release, but yeah, Couple has lost 2 positions due to that. unfortunate because he would have definitely not gotten any better position gains or if he had stayed out, because the safety car would have slowed him down, the pack would have bunched up, he would have lost more positions in that case. So I guess a good move. Um,
Ooh, Aditya with a with one more 5 second penalty.
yes, as you say it, and I notice it. We'll go on board him. He did get a 5 second stop go as well, so he had to wait for 5 seconds and is now back out. But he has 8 seconds of penalties because of that starting in the pit lane issue. Sorry, speeding into the pit lane infringement. Helium, in the meantime, will not get ahead of his teammate. Ooh, this side by side. I think. No, Helium does get ahead. Well, Aditya
Yeah.
was coming out of the pit box a little slow, I guess. Pit lane a little slow, I guess. So, well, the Mercedes drivers did well in quali, but they are way behind, basically at the back of the pack right now in P10 and 11. Unfortunate, but it's a
Even
safety
a
car.
single point can get them the P3 in the constructor championship.
Well, that's important to note, and I guess they are definitely going to get it if they do not make any mistakes or retire, because P10 is anyway up for grabs for one of the drivers. We only have 11 drivers left from the race, which is quite it seems to have been quite a death uh, a death track. Most of these guys. Ooh, and Tanish
Ooh,
gets a 5 second penalty for a collision with Pepe. How has Pepe gone P2 from Tanish is I fail to understand. I guess they must have had a moment. Tanish must have gone off track and Pepe got the P2. But now that hit with Pepe, that slam into Pepe, has given him very important time penalty in the race. So, yeah, unfortunate.
that is really unfortunate for both Danish and Kapil.
Baba
Ooh,
gets
Baba with
one. And Moto, I think he spun Moto around as well because Moto is off track, has lost
Ooh,
a lot of wing.
that is really really bad. Losing the front plate. I think the left front plate, right?
Well, it's a little more than just the end plate. I think he's lost a major
Uh,
amount of his wing. It's a red on the telemetry, so oh, he's not gonna have any turn in. This is sad for him. The pack is almost bunched up. If he is able to go a little slowly, probably not let even the Mercedes drivers to catch up with the pack ahead by sector 3, he might trigger the safety car to stay out one more lap, I guess. That's about the mind games he can play or the games he can play with the game itself. So let's wait and watch how it goes for him. He's definitely going to have to pit. A new front wing, some fresh rubber, probably there on. It's a recovery drive for him again. Well, we've lost 5 drivers till now
yeah, five.
in this with by the halfway mark. The McLaren of Black Sheep, Streeter in the Williams who was standing in as reserve, Kim Rai who's the Renault driver, Propi, unfortunate safety car restart, the first safety car restart, and as we say that Moto goes wide, gives the place away for both the Mercedes drivers. I guess he just was being the gentleman and understanding that he's really holding them back, gives the place back to them. It looks like the safety car should go in this lap. We'll have to wait and watch.
Patricia is gonna pit now.
Yep, the safety car doesn't seem to be going in this lap, so he will get that pit stop and he'll have to catch up with the pack as well. So the safety car will definitely be going in next lap, I think, because the game doesn't let the safety car stay out much. So we'll have to wait and
Yeah,
watch.
it's. I think the maximum it can set is like for 3 laps, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, if I remember correct, that's what it is. But
Yeah.
he'll be considering himself lucky. Don't speed in, my man. And yes, he gets it slowed down on time. Well, we've lost Eccentric as well, the last person out of the DNF positions, I must say. I had to mention that. He has a 5 second penalty to serve as well, Moto. Ooh, that's going to be a little costly. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch up to the pack. They're all towards the end of Sector 1. They're almost at the end of the Senna S's. Moto can go flat out because he won't be having a delta. since the pack is bunched up. He's just the sole driver left, and he will be able to get the tires to heat up well in that push towards the driver, the pack as well. If he times it correctly, he can catch up to them just towards the ending of sector 3, hold a decent amount of pace and get some good heat into the tires and brakes, importantly, because turn 1's going to be important. He has fresher tires. We have to remember that. Let's just go on board and see how the tires look. Well, he does have the fresher tires. Helium having the oldest on the grid right now because he pit one lap before, or pit towards the first safety car's ending, I must say.
Yeah. Well, the restart is going to be very interesting since Pepe got the position on Tanish and Moto lost his wing and had to go down to P11. What else?
Well, you had to mention that the Alfa Romeo boys have messed up a little bit because Tanish made a mistake, lost a position, had got a 5-second penalty on top of that, and Couple had to double stack because that was the only possible option for him to lose the least amount of positions. So he lost 2 positions in that pit stop, and now he's in P5. But they still do have the constructors championship in the bag, but they've lost good double podium, and Glader just starts. The safety car has gone in this lap. Glader has pulled away, but Tanish gets a good exit of the final corner. The safety car restart has worked well for him. Gets the place on Pepe into turn 1. Good move over there around down the inside, I must say. Over General Pepe through the S's now, and the dirty air will definitely not be helping Pepe right now to be so close to Tanish, but let's see how he holds it. In the meantime, Baba picks up a 3-second penalty for corner cutting, multiple warnings, so he's up in P7. I did not notice, ooh, and Pepe goes a little sideways, holds it just on time, catches it just in time. Well, that's important because he seems to be having good pace, especially equal on pace with Tanish and Kapil at the moment, and he might possibly get a chance to showcase it going into the hairpin. Let's see if he's able to get back to Tanish. He's already lost 8 tenths to Tanish after that turn 1 move. Glader in the meantime pulling away a 1.1 second, 1.2 seconds almost within the first lap after the safety car restart. Some tremendous pace from the Ferrari driver. Wilster and Couple.
Really trying to go ahead of Wilster, and I think he's gonna use up some of his ERS, and yes, he does use some of his ERS.
Well, Wilster, as we know from the previous season in Tier 2, is known to have literally no ERS usage. He doesn't use his ERS for some reason. Must be wanting a challenge for himself, I'm not sure, but then he has ton of ERS left. Couple is using a lot, but he's not deficient by any chance, but he has 20% lesser, and he will be trying to get some moves done on Wilster and Pepe. But let's just wait and watch because the rest of the race is left. But Baba has lost all the paces, has retired as well. He seems to have had an incident. We did not catch that. That was really shameful from my side. I'm really sorry. But then
Is it going to be another safety car?
it's a virtual safety car. It won't be a safety car because the back is in sector 1 and he lost it in the final sector. So it's fine, I guess. The game will remove his car on time. But the virtual safety car will mean that the drivers will have to bring down their pace, drive around within the delta, and keep some heat into the tires. But Tanish, surprisingly, has gotten a little bit of time on Glader, I guess. No, not sure because the timing sheets are changing a bit.
Yeah. Also, because of the safety car, I think everyone's gonna punch up again, and
But it's a virtual safety car, so there's not going to be much of bunch of Dwajan if you forgot, because it's just pace coming down.
yeah, it's
And
yeah.
Pepe gets a drive through. This is absolutely a big bummer for him. He must have slammed on the throttle when he saw the VSC ending, and probably must have timed it wrong. But he has a drive-through now and he's going to dive into the pits immediately. Let's just wait and watch what he does. But if he is going to drive into the pits right now, Wilster and Couple will get a position for free. And Wilster seemed to be quite feisty behind him. He stays out, gets sideways a bit. Wilster gets a good drive out of the final
8 laps
corner.
to go.
Yep, 8 laps to go. This is gonna be a battle for the final podium step. Couple is not very far off. He's gonna be the wiser driver and all the experience will come into play now because he has 2 cars ahead. He has a lot of dirty air. He has a constructors championship to win and he is getting a lot of dirty air. I think the curb must have been the one that was putting him a little off, but he just got a little bit of rare happy, um, rare getting loose over there. Wilster seems to be doing a lot of weaving, probably losing the car a bit, but then gets it back under control. Harvesting energy, importantly, because he knows that Couple, being the much more strategic driver behind him, will be doing the same. Short shifting multiple gears up so that he doesn't get much of wheel spin. He gets the run on Wilster. Oh, some glitching over there. Wilster seems to have glitched a bit for Couple. We saw him rubber banding a bit. That was a little dangerous. It looked like Couple might have almost lost his front wing. But Couple seems to be getting the moves, the exits right and deploying his ERS the right way as well because he is able to keep up, if not gain slightly on Wilster. This is going to be an important corner because he's in dirty air. He does it decently well, keeps it on track. In the meantime, Moto and Madhav seem to be fighting for positions. Moto just made the move on Madhav, and I'm sorry, Shalilok. That's the the sole Racing Point driver today. Uh, Shalilok,
Later is just pulling away, like he's increasing the gap, putting in the fastest laps of the session.
absolutely.
And
Glader is a fast driver. I don't know if you remember from the previous weekend in Monza. Glader was doing an amazing job to get some really good aggressive but fast lap times and good moves done to get onto the podium. I think P2, that's where the driver finished, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes from here on because a lot of pace. Ooh, when Glader gets a 3-second time penalty.
I think he was just pushing a little too much, and that caused him to get those penalties. And we have currently 2 battles on track, that is Kapil Wilster and then Chalalak and Aditya.
Well, Aditya is catching up to Shalak very fast, I must say, because ooh, Aditya goes a little on the grass, loses his rear a bit, but catches it on time, goes a little deep, but that's fine because it's important to get the traction right over here, and he doesn't seem to have got it right. He clips the grass again. That's losing him a lot of time, and he's deploying a lot of ERS.
I think Kapil is in the same position as General Pepe was a few laps ago. He's getting a lot of dirty air, isn't able to put in very good laps, and is not able to close the gap.
Absolutely,
Even
actually.
after using, yeah, even after using such amount of ERS, it's really, the dirty air is really affecting him here.
Absolutely, it is possible, like you said, he is deploying a lot of ERS now, and we know in the rain. Oh, and General Pepe has gone into the pits to serve his drive-through, and he has, oh my god, he has tumbled almost towards the back of the field. He's gonna go, yes, he has tumbled to the back of the field. That is P10, yes, but he was running P3, folks, remember? So that's like 7 places he's lost just because of a drive-through. Unfortunate for him, but with the pace he has, I'm sure that he has 6 laps. Let's see if he's able to make up some good positions. He is
At
faster
this
than a
point,
few
I think
drivers ahead.
he'll be gaining positions on based on penalties if he closes the gap, and we can see a lot of people having penalties of 3 seconds to 8 seconds. So we might see him jumping up some places.
Well, Aditya seems to be racking up the penalties. Pepe is definitely the faster driver at this point. Gets an amazing exit. Goes down around the outside. Oh, backs off a little. Aditya defending the inside. General Pepe trying to get the switch back, but Aditya places his car just right. Keeps the turning radius as less as possible. Places the car right on the middle of the exit and doesn't let Pepe get capitalize on that switchback move. But yeah, good defending, some good racing as well. We'll have to wait and watch how it goes, because now the back straight comes and that slipstream is going to be very important for Pepe to make this move. He's deploying all of his ERS. Aditya in the meantime is not using any ERS. This is surprising. He's not made up a lot of time as well. Takes it almost flat there and Aditya goes sideways, catches it on time. Pepe squeezes him a little towards the outside of the track, gets the move done very well, gives him some space,
Gives him, yeah.
gets some wheel banking as well, but then gets the move very importantly. Aditya has used up all of his ERS. This is surprising. A driver losing all of his ERS in the rain. He has another 5 laps to go. He's gone deep as well. Okay. Well, he is having a tough race, isn't it? Because we've seen it from the start of the race. He was losing some positions, struggling to get some consistent lap times, and was struggling to keep it on track itself at certain
Yeah,
points.
I think Helium just overtook Evil Dog and oh yeah, what is happening?
They did exchange positions. Sorry to not catch that. But then Helium,
Yeah.
who was dead last at a certain point, ooh, goes wide,
Solar
just misses Evil
track.
Dog, keeps it on track. Well, regroup and fight again, I guess, Helium, because you've done a good job to make up those positions from the incidents and the drive-through that you had. And Aditya has retired from the
Oh,
race as well. He got a 10-second time penalty for cutting the corner, and it's a safety car. It's a safety car with 5 laps to go. I
this
can't
is
be
gonna be
shocked
interesting.
anymore.
Very, very interesting.
Oh my god, let's jump on board the leader. What is the leader gonna do? Stays out. Tanish stays out. Um, Wilster and Couple have exchanged positions. I have not caught this. This is really wrong of me, but then, damn, that's good for Couple because he's made up that important position.
I, I mean that's Tanish and Kapil are both back into the original positions from where they started the race. Really good recovery from them.
Absolutely, but I'm struggling to understand how Wilster is on such good tire wear, because his tires, at least on our telemetry, is showing green, whereas Couples is showing yellow. So he is bit into about 20-25% of his tire, whereas Wilster doesn't seem to have used any tire at all. Let's see the tire life for a second. They're on the same tires. They're 8 laps old. So that's surprising. Wilster does
Very
have some wear, but not as much as I expected. Well, good tire conservation. He has his overtake on. I don't know for what joy. Or is it the game glitch? I am not sure. But
pretty
then,
sure it's a game glitch because he's oh no, he has his overtake on for some reason.
alright. Evil Dog, my man, he's done some good moves. Probably more of a clean race more than the race pace or the moves, I must say. But has been consistent, kept himself away from incidents, and he's up in P5. That's some good moves from his side. And yeah, he's up in P5. Important to see that his pace is not really that off. Helium is in P6. Helium and Evil Dog are fighting for position back to back. Important to note.
Yep.
Moto is in P7, close by because we are in the safety car. Um, Sherlock is in P8 for the RP boys, and he's the sole driver for Racing Point today. Uh, Pepe is in P9 after the drive-through.
7 drivers have DNF'd. Uh,
Well, like I said, even the best drivers can get caught out by such conditions on a bumpy track like Japan, which is not really, um, I must say, not very easy a track to drive in the dries itself. So in the wets, I can only understand how tough it would have been for them. But yeah, nonetheless, like you mentioned, we have lost
yep.
7 drivers out of the 16 who started, and we're left with 9. So everyone gets points. But
Yes, everyone gets points. You get point, you get points, you get points. So I think the safety car is gonna go in this lap, and we're gonna have 3 laps of racing, or maybe 2 laps of racing, if I'm not wrong. Well, safety car is going in this lap, and we'll be having 2 laps of racing, if I'm not wrong. And Charles gets a 5-second penalty, and we are back racing. It's this just 2 laps left, and people are getting 5-second penalties. Well, Blair is just flying away from Kapil and Danish, while people at the back are really close to each other and are fighting for their positions. Ooh, I think Helium has made a move on Evil Dog, and will be picking up P5, while General Pepe also goes up to P8, overtaking Sherlock. Danish really close to Kapil. If we can go on board with Danish, yes. Really close. Alpha Bus getting P2 and P3. That will be very good for the constructors, and they will be getting the most points for the constructors.
Well, the constructors is something else, but then I'm really shocked as to why the two drivers have swapped positions. Even though Tanish is the faster driver right now, Kapil is technically pushing these guys back into
Uh,
Wilstage's
Sorry, your
clause.
voice is breaking a little.
Sorry, is it fine now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So I was saying, Kapil and Tanish swapped positions as safety car restart just at the final corner, I think.
Yep. That
I'm not
happened.
I'm not sure why they did that because Tanish seems to be the faster driver and he definitely has the pace. Maybe not as fast as Glader, but then he might have been the best chance to probably get that P2 sealed because right now Wilster is making up sometimes slowly but steadily. They are going to end the 26th lap. They're going to start their final lap right now.
Final lap.
Yep, and Glader seems to have this in control um, down the start finish straight using all the ERS because this is the last lap. It's gonna be a definite win until unless there is some kind of a mistake from their side. Couple is maintaining P2, Tanish on P3. Uh, well, this is a question I'm gonna ask the Alpha drivers for sure because like I said again, I'm sorry to repeat it, but then I'm shocked why the Alpha drivers have swapped positions. In the meantime,
No
uh,
idea why that happened.
yep, in the meantime, Wilster is in P4. Tanish, if I remember correctly, had a 5-second
Five
penalty,
seconds.
yes, with General Pepe in the previous race, safety car restart, and he will be losing the podium position because Wilster is not very far off. The telemetry data is wrong because it's showing that the gap between Tanish and Wilster is 1 lap, but that's not a fact for a fact because he's actually, we can see on board, he's not very far off from Tanish, is he? And well, nonetheless, the Mercedes of Helium in P5, 2.2 seconds behind, probably the fighting and the battling.
General Pepper made a move on Moto.
Well, must have made it around the spoon corner, but nonetheless, he does get the move done. he has a lot of ERS to spare, whereas Moto, oh, Moto is close on his tail. I'm gonna go, oh, and there is a three-way battle. Moto backs out of it, very thinking correctly for himself.
Oh, Tanish gets another 5 second. I think it's because of because he
Ooh,
didn't stop to go.
well,
Moto
that's
really
fine.
struggling with the car and
Moto
goes across the line in a
just
very,
goes.
very, very
That was something else because
funny
that was
way.
the last lap and the final chicane as well. And it looked like Moto would have gotten that move done if not for Evil Dog being there. But then, yeah, he had a moment towards the finishing line. But nonetheless, Couple had no penalties and has gotten the
Yeah,
win today. I forgot to mention that he had no penalties. So he got the win from Glader because the Ferrari driver had a 3-second penalty
three
because
second
of multiple
penalty.
warnings. And Wilster, like we mentioned before, does get P3 because of the penalties Tanish was carrying. That is unfortunate for Tanish. But then, well, nonetheless, we will go through the final race standings, finishing standings. Couple gets P1. Wow, that's a win for Couple. That has been coming from a long time. Glader gets P2. Unfortunate about that penalty. Has the fastest lap, almost 6 tenths or 7 tenths faster than the next fastest guy. But then that's a good pace from Glader. Really good. Probably the next season, the Ferrari driver who will maybe become some other team is showing some good pace. Will be interesting to see it. Wilster gets P3. Tanish gets P4. Good for the Alfa Romeo boys. Unfortunate penalties over there. Helium gets P5. A good comeback. Evil Dog a decent P6. General Pepe unfortunate P7. Moto gets P8 and Shalalock gets P9. That's the final race standings. The rest of the drivers have DNF'd, unfortunately. But let's just. Ooh, and we couldn't get the driver standings, I guess. But nonetheless, let's go on to the final part of today's stream. That is the podium finishers. We will try to get them into the VC. If you could do that for
Yeah, I see
us.
couple is here.
Well, couple is
Couple,
here.
how was your race?
Hello, boys. You tell me how the race was. Insanity is all I can describe it as.
Well, we can have some
I think
chatter
the
for now.
penalty that Blader picked up really helped you.
Oh man, that guy is. Oh girl, I'm not sure who it is really. Very, very intriguing character, but kudos to them for, well, having insane pace. I had no chance of getting the win, but keeping it on track, keeping it clean always helps, I guess.
Well, let's try and get the other drivers in, shall we? We had Glader who won't be able to join us in the VC because doesn't have a mic. Um, we also need, who was the third driver? I totally forgot. Wilster. Is Wilster with us?
I make it him.
Mm, okay, let's wait and get
Will, sir, are you with us?
cool. So we have Wilster as well. Well, I have the answers for Glader's questions that I had for him, so I will talk about it on stream as well. I'll tell it after the both of you. But then, couple, let's start with you. Race win, my man. How are you feeling? You probably, I can't call you my driver of the day yet because I didn't think about it, but a good race for you. How do you feel about that win?
It was good. I mean, I think there's something really wrong with the game. So I am not supposed to be where I am, in all honesty. And let me explain why. Wilster was far and above, like just smashing it. He had insane pace. I was burning up my rears in the second half of the race. And then there was a safety car. Okay. It did not show up on my screen. I'm still racing, I'm still pushing, and I just see Wilster just stop. Just stop on track. Into 130R, he just stopped. I'm like, what is going on? Why would he do that? But I am not sure. I mean, I don't know if he hit a ghosted car or something else happened, but I took that as an opportunity to go and get past. And then going into sector 1 Suzuka, that's where I got the safety car. So again, I'm just full discrepancy on when the safety car actually came out. For me, from my POV, it came out way later apparently compared to the rest of the grid. So that is one thing that really helped. I mean, he was driving phenomenally. I was pushing like hell and overdriving the car, and well, suffered in the process. I think I was really given um, a drive by from the game this time around.
Well,
Oh,
good honesty over there. Thanks for that, couple. But let's just uh, let's just let you enjoy the moment because, um, how do you feel about the constructors one? Because you guys have won the constructors because of that eccentric losing it in the final, in the first lap, second lap. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, this season in itself has been a roller coaster ride. Both Tanish and I making mistakes over and over again, and it's humbling to see that we actually win. But props where it's due. Eccentric has had an absolute OP season. I mean, far and above better than anyone else. I mean, yes, Mint and now Glader had come into the party to give him a fighting chance, but no, his consistency really shined through. Unfortunately, it happened the way it did today. We were really expecting him to kind of eke it out, but maybe this could be a sign that he's only good in the drives, and that's why he won the championship. Maybe question mark, question mark. I'm not absolutely sure, but hey, an amazing season nonetheless. Alpha Boys represent, we've been in the VC every single race, every single tier race, supporting each other on. I don't want to brag, but if you were to look at the overall championship with all three tiers, we still shine through. P2, P2, and P1 from reverse order. I mean, what more could you want from an amazing set of drivers? So I'm super happy that our team, well, did what we did to take the top step. It's a great
Well,
way to end the season for us.
thanks for that, couple. A lot of you had a lot to talk about, and yeah, it's really nice to hear that from you. And I'm sure if you can bring Tanish to the VC as well, we'll talk to him after this, after the podium finishers are done, because you'll have won the
Yep. I mean,
championship. Nonetheless, we had Glader who came in P2, so we had a few questions to ask the Ferrari driver about the race. I'll read out what exactly there was to tell. So definitely a good race. Felt that it was a good race for him, and so basically I'm reading it out. I'm quoting. I knew I had the pace today, but first race in the wet, so happy with the win. I'm sure it's a win because I mean, yeah, unfortunate with the 3 second. I know I also saw it and I was like, that's gonna be a bummer. But the 3 second did cost you dear Glader. Nonetheless, it was a pretty exciting race for you, I'm sure, like you said. And I also had asked how the penalty felt when it hit or came on the dash. And yeah, I guess was happy with it. Like he mentioned, it was a penalty which came after no experience in the wet. So very happy with the performance that he had to show. But nonetheless, thanks for that, Glader. Thanks for typing it out. Hope I was able to tell everything, everything which you wanted to tell. But moving on to P3, um, Wilster. So good
Yeah.
race from you. Good pace. You had a roller coaster race. I think your race start, if I'm right, your first lap was really bad because coming out of the first sector, you kind of had a moment, went a little wide, and then talk us through your first lap. What happened over there?
First lap, I think I was slow. I knew Babaji didn't move at the start. That was quite scary, to be honest. Prope hit him back, but that's all right. Then
He
we went
watched me
for
die. He watched me die.
yeah. Then we moved ahead around. I don't remember the turn exactly, but I was going side by side with someone. I don't remember who it was exactly. We wheel banged. He went straight on. I went wide. Then carried on.
Well, I want to ask you one very off-topic question. How much of ERS did you have at the race when you finished the race?
I think around 8 to 7%. I think.
Okay, I don't remember it because I wanted to note it. I made a mental note, but I didn't. You're known from last season in Tier 2 to be the driver who never uses ERS, and you kind of showed it in certain parts of the track when we were checking out your battles with Couple and probably Pepe. But then, yeah, it's good to see that you started using your ERS.
I had no like I had no experience in rain, nor I had any practice in Japan. Last season that we did, that only setup I had, and using that, I somehow I was careful, being cautious to not spin. That's why I didn't use my ARS that much.
Well, nonetheless, a good race, a mature race, I must say, because you knew Tanish had some penalties, unserved penalties, and you got the final step of the podium as well. So, good race from your side. But nonetheless, let's move on to talk to our championship winner, that is the Drivers' Championship winner, who DNF'd in today's race, and probably with that DNF lost all hopes to win the Constructors as well, single-handedly. Important to note. But hi, Eccentric, how are you doing after this race? Did you watch the race?
Well, kind of disappointed with how my race went, but yeah, overall, congratulations to the podium winners, podium sitters, and congrats to Alpha as well for the constructors.
Well, talk us through your race because it was just 1.5 laps into the race and you were done. But then first lap, amazing start. You did well, but second lap, what happened over there?
No, my setup was I didn't tweak my setup correctly. I was basically aquaplaning everywhere and like spinning out of every corner. And I mean, it was bound to happen. Like I had zero control through sector one, and like even on lap one, I almost lost it like 3-4 times, and then finally lost it at 130 hours. So yeah, disappointing way to end the season, sadly.
Well, that's a bummer. It's all good, but you've got the Drivers' Championship nonetheless, and GG's to that. So amazing. Congratulations to you. Moving on, we have Tanish, who is the other Alpha driver who raced along with Couple today. Was unfortunately not on the podium even after that amazing pace he was able to show us. But Tanish, how do you feel? You won the Constructors' Championship. You showed some good pace, front runner pace, which you always had the potential for. How do you feel about the race?
I mean, it was decent. Like, I'm happy with the race, especially as you won the Constructors' Championship. So, considering my race, yep, it was not what I expected, but it was still decent. So, yep, I think there was not much action above, which, how should I say, like, apart from the safety cars, right? There was not much action. It was a simple race. Apart from, like, there was few glitches as well, I guess, with the safety cars. As you know the game. So, but yeah, I'm very happy winning Constructors Championship, and congrats to all the podium sitters plus Leda. What an amazing race!
Well, that is good.
So
That's
another thing, yes,
yeah.
congrats to Eccentric as well for winning the Drivers Championship race.
Well,
Thank you.
well, that was yeah, friendliness between the Tier 1 drivers. I guess with a tough season, I must say for them. Eccentric definitely pulling out Hamilton probably in a few years back. Hamilton used to do that. Now Eccentric pulled that out. But nonetheless, an exciting season, and that is the end for today's race and the podium interviews. Congratulations to the Drivers' Championship winner, that is Eccentric. Congratulations to the Alfa Romeo boys, that's Couple and Tanish, for bringing home the Constructors' Championship for them. And the rest of the podium sitters as well, that is Couple, who won the race, Glader, who came P2, and Wilster, who came P3. So that's all from today's race and today's stream.
I've got one last thing to say. I mean, I just want to add this in because just a bit of mixed stuff going on within the Alpha team. I promised them that if we win the championship, it's going to be pizza for everyone in the team. And damn it, I'm going to be spending a lot of money right now. But hey, I'm happy. Alpha team, go! Woo.
Well, we think pizza is something y'all can tell, but Alfa Romeo being a Swedish squad, but it's supposed to be a Swedish squad if I'm right, but then it's fine, I don't care, y'all get pizzas anyway, food is food. But yeah, enjoy your party. Congratulations, and yeah, I guess that's all from today's stream. Thank you everyone for chipping in watching our stream, and have a good night. That's it from IRC. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.